Today we are at the HAPA CARES series. It's created during the MCO period to help support the F&B, hospitality and tourism industry to talk about safety standards as well as hygiene standards. So HAPA CARES has been on the move looking for F&B outlets as well as hospitality outlets where we can actually take a look at what their safety procedures are as well as hygiene SOP procedures. So today, we have found ourselves at this amazing place. It's 𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐼𝐻's at SS2. And today we managed to get some time with Ian Ong, the founder and CEO of 𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐼𝐻's. So let's check in with Ian to see what's been happening in the industry as well as what's been happening at 𝐿𝐿𝐼𝐻's. So hi Ian, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Hi Jennifer, thanks for having me on your channel, and hi to every one of the viewers that is actually tuned in right now. Okay, it's a pleasure for me to share whatever we have with all of you at home who are viewing.
So Ian, tell us what has been happening since MCO till now. I think it's about 4 or 5 months. What has been happening to the business of 𝐿𝐿𝐼𝐻's, and what are the new creative ways that you have introduced since the MCO?
Well, I think due to this pandemic, although today we are in a recovery stage, we would like to say that we are actually recovering. But I think it is actually still very volatile at this point in time. This pandemic is by no way over. So we will still have to be on our toes, and we will have to make sure that we do our part to make sure that we contain the spread of this disease.
Right. So what are some of the safety procedures that you have implemented at 𝐿𝐿𝐼𝐻's to ensure that we follow the guidelines, and so of course customer safety and employee safety?
Well, sometimes it's a very challenging thing to do because we set out by making sure that we follow all the guidelines that has actually been given to us by the ministry. Enforcing them on the customers itself is another thing. All right, because sometimes, of course, we have a lot of different types of customers with different characteristics. Some of them who come from the same family. Right. Even though you ask them to social distance, it proves a very difficult thing to do, because they will turn around and tell you that we all live in the same house, so why should we sit apart? So these are the challenges that we are in the F&B business that we actually face. Getting them, their temperature tested to make sure that they log in, to make sure that we do the table distancing. I think that is actually the easy part. Right. But much rather, how do we really want to enforce it within our own restaurant, because we come across so many different types of individuals. That's
true. That's the other thing, right? I mean, we've got a lot of guidelines in place, although I think it's carved in stone coming from the authorities, but the industry do our part in getting all these guidelines in place. But I've always believed that it's not just being a responsible F&B operator, but also being a responsible customer. So everybody has to play a part to curb the spike of the infection, and operators have put in proper procedures, such as physical distancing, cleanliness, temperature checks, and so on. But I suppose it also requires the cooperation from customers to follow these guidelines, right? So what about these things? Okay, so we've got this latest news about safety of alcohol consumption. I think it's a hot topic right now, and there are a lot of discussions happening about what is the allowed consumption. And as we know, 𝐿𝐿𝐼𝐻's is predominantly a family restaurant. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yes.
We are actually a family restaurant, but of course we do serve those that enjoy their cold brew. They enjoy the environment as well as the quality drinks that we afford. But there again, we want to make sure that their safety is paramount, and we want to make sure that we should see.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's right. So in order to sort of prepare the customers, that they drink responsibly and also get home safely, I think that's, at the end of the day, that's what we want, right? To have the customers enjoy what they have here, basically for them coming here to enjoy a nice meal and some drinks, but also to get home safely. So what procedures have you implemented at 𝐿𝐿𝐼𝐻's? I understand there was some MOU being signed between 𝐿𝐿𝐼𝐻's and a company called Lyla Malaysia, offering driver services. Am I right? So What's that partnership about?
Actually, the MOU which we signed with Lyla, there's two parts to it.
Right.
One is that we are actually expanding our food delivery to every individual house. We are trying to be a standalone order. You can actually order from our website.
Right.
You know, we're coming up with our apps pretty soon. So we really would like to stand alone rather than have a common, for example, you know, what you have today in the market,
right,
where you have one company servicing so many different types of companies, right? So you may end up buying something else even though you are looking for our pizza, for example.
Right. Right.
So because of that, and also because of the pandemic, I think that delivery is something that is actually very important. So getting food over by virtue of delivery, exactly as per what the customer wants. We don't have to force them to take a soft drink, you know, and all this kind of stuff. I think it's important because we get the feedbacks on what customer is telling us.
Right. Right.
So by the same token, because we are also selling alcoholic beverages here, so we decided to have a initiative with Lyla to make sure that we offer the services to customers who didn't expect to drink for that day,
Okay.
but they drove their car there, which I think happens to every one of us.
Yeah.
So sometimes it just happens due to social events and everything. So sometimes we had that 1, 2 drinks or 3 drinks, and but we have a car in place. So this is where Lyla can actually assist you by driving your car back for you in their driver, so that your car, your fixed asset, as well as you yourself, you are safe back home with your loved ones, and you are good to talk about it tomorrow.
Right, right. Oh, so you know, so Uncle Don's have put that in place where, you know, all your customers can subscribe to that service at any point in time.
Yes, they can.
In all your outlets.
In fact, it's not just all our outlets. We are just trying to educate Malaysians that they shouldn't take the risk. So it's not only in ours, but of course we started this initiative with Lyla, but they are actually free to, you can actually just log onto their website. Their numbers are there for you to call them if you need their services. It's not limited to Uncle Don's.
Right. So, but Uncle Don's is the first F&B chain.
Yes, we are the first that did this initiative with Lyla.
Fantastic. And that's really brilliant. And I think, you know, as F&B players, if we want to work together to make sure that we support the industry in terms of also making sure that all our customers, you know, can enjoy their drinks but yet get home safely, especially like what Ian said, the unexpected meetups, the unexpected drinks, but yet, you know, you have one too many and you want to get home safely. So it's really good. It's a really good initiative from Uncle Don's side to be the first F&B chain of restaurants to offer such a service made available to all the customers. And you know, and that really great. And also congratulations to Lyla for coming up with such a service. And, you know, having these collaborations with restaurants and F&B outlets, I think that is really important. Yeah. And so what is your take in terms of the F&B industry moving forward? You know, there was a bit of a rise in terms of cases last couple of days. Yeah, has that affected F&B businesses like yours?
Well, definitely, it's going to have an effect on not just us, but I think on the industry in general. Because I think today people are a little bit more educated. They are quite informed about the seriousness of this pandemic or this disease. So when they see that there is a rise in case, of course, the tendency is that for them to stay at home. So this is what I was trying to say earlier, that we are a long way away from getting out of this, and the market is still very volatile. The industry itself in general is still very, very volatile.
And what is your okay? So what are the plans from Uncle Don's side in terms of, you know, creativity? As we know now, with a new norm, and when talking about new norm, you gotta have new things introduced, you know, new menus or new style or new way to connect with your customers. So what are the new things that Uncle Don's have put in place, or also moving forward, the future of the creativity coming from Uncle Don's?
Well, we're definitely using online platforms a lot more now. Some of them are under development. In fact, we're going to launch it next month. So as far as the outlet is concerned, I think we are very limited by space if we have got to ensure and enforce social distancing. So that is something that is going to be here to stay for quite some time. So it is up to us how we want to pivot our business in order for us to increase our revenue. We sometimes have to change whatever we don't like, but that is just part of life today. That's a part and parcel of life, and that's the new norm today, and that's the new normal.
Right. So at Uncle Don's, all your outlets, are you having this 1 meter apart table setting? What are the procedures you have put in place?
Well, that itself is something which is sometimes very hotly debated because a lot of even authorities sometimes, for me, my understanding is that sometimes they do not get consistency of their rules in order, right? Every different areas, they enforce it differently. So sometimes it becomes very difficult for us in our business to try to follow exactly what they want.
Right.
But I think in general today, it is quite well known. I think so. It should be quite well known that within a person's sitting position, you can of course have how many people on your table, but so long as there is 1 meter radius between parties, even though they are from the same family.
Oh, right. Okay, but what about the fact that there was a period of time where they said, okay, now you can join tables or you can have a long table, and if it's all from one family, you can sit together, but you maintain that 1 meter distance. Is that still on, or that has changed again?
No, I think you can actually have, you can join your tables, you can have a long table, you can have how many people on that table, but the guideline is within that table, you still need social distancing.
Right.
So the guide will be within every person that's actually sitting on the table, there is actually a meter distance between those individuals sitting on that table.
Right. But there's no maximum number of people that can sit on that one table?
As we understand it today, there is no maximum. You are free to join the tables, how many you want, it's up to you.
Right, okay. So I guess, what we can do is to ensure the safety of our customers is being looked after, and that 1 meter distance apart from one person to another person is being adhered to. As what Ian's saying, and I know, we don't really have anything carved in stone as far as the guidelines are concerned, but they're from many areas, and like you said, depending on which area you are from, sometimes the rules changes a little bit. But anyhow, I think there are some basic fundamental rules or guidelines that we should follow, not try, but really we should follow to try to get our industry back in order so that it's safe, right? Now, what about if you're talking to the audience who are customers? We're all customers. We all go everywhere to do dining. And I like to emphasize something about customer responsibility. We all have to be a responsible customer. The responsibility of keeping the cases down, in making sure we maintain social distancing and physical distancing in any restaurants, whether it's a bar restaurant or restaurant. I think it also has to be 50% on the customers to take that responsibility. So what do you have to say about customer responsibility?
Well, I think that is absolutely correct because, as I reiterated earlier, that, a lot of the success of containing this, we have 2 hands and we need 2 hands to clap. All right, so the customers, we, the restaurant owners, and everything, we need to play our part. We have always trained our restaurant staff to try to explain to the customer, even though the social distancing aspect is done, the markings on the table are done, but sometimes the customers just choose to sit very near to one another. And certain customers, when you tell them to move apart, they oblige, but not all of them.
Right.
Sometimes it's very difficult to tell them what is actually required.
Okay, but maybe you can share with us what are the consequences of these customers refusing to sit apart. I suppose when we want to follow the guidelines and we want to be a responsible customer, it's not really about avoiding the fine, but rather keeping the infection rate low so that we can actually get out of this and come back to some form of normalcy, even though the new norm is here to stay, right? So I think okay, so maybe you can share with us in terms of the number of outlets that Uncle Don has around Malaysia. How many outlets do you have in total?
We have at the moment 21.
21.
Our 22nd outlet, unfortunately, is going to be pushed towards the end of this year. Supposedly 22nd outlet. That's because the project, it's some sort of like a mall.
Right.
Their project is delayed, so we'll be taking on new outlets coming up very, very soon. I think we have one coming up in Sunway Pyramid, Rawang, as well as Kuantan. I think it's going to be the next 3. Right. So we are moving ahead with our plan. guidelines.
Good, good. And which is your biggest outlet?
Well, our biggest outlet so far is actually in Taipan. Yeah, it's USJ Taipan. It's got the biggest floor space of all the outlets.
Wow. Okay. And which is your latest outlet?
Our latest outlet that was just launched was in Seremban. We had 3 openings in the space of about a week. So things was very, very hectic.
Wow.
Well, they were all supposed to have been launched before the MCO, but it couldn't work back then.
Right.
So we had to get this job done.
Right, right. Yeah. Okay. So for those who have not tried 𝐤𝐸𝐷𝑜NS, or those who are not really familiar with 𝐤𝐸𝐷𝑜NS, what can you tell them? What is 𝐤𝐸𝐷𝑜NS? Is it, people tend to ask, okay, so what kind of restaurant is it? They go by cuisine. What we know is, yes, 𝐤𝐸𝐷𝑜NS is a family restaurant. Okay, so what else do you think you can share with our audience about 𝐤𝐸𝐷𝑜NS?
Okay, our restaurant and our concept generally is a place for everybody of all walks of life and all ages to come in. We have a lot of children running around. We have senior citizens who come here, and we try to portray ourselves as a family restaurant that caters for everybody from all ages. So of course, like we mentioned, we do serve alcoholic beverages, but here people predominantly come for their food first, and they don't mind having a beer to wash it down.
Right.
So that is basically what 𝐤𝐸𝐷𝐼𝐷�ONS is all about. It's affordable. It is something that is not going to burn a hole in your wallet, and that's why the tagline says that you can dine like a don every day.
Wow, you can dine like a don. Wow, every day. And we should also got some. We happen to be standing here where the menu is. What are your specialty dishes?
Well, we're actually very famous for our burgers, our pizzas, our nachos. Yeah, these are our. There's quite a lot. We have about 100 items on our menu, so you can come here every day and still have something different for the next 3 months.
Great. Yeah. So for those of you who have not tried 𝐤𝐸𝐷𝐼𝐷�ONS, they have 21 outlets around, and I'm sure you can find any 𝐤𝐸𝐷𝐼𝐷�ONS around your area. So they've gotten all their safety procedures as well as hygiene procedures in place. It's a clean restaurant. They follow guidelines, and being a responsible F&B operator, they always welcome any of the customers or responsible customers who come and dine and try the food here in 𝐤𝐸𝐷𝐼𝐷�ONS, right?
That's right.
So that's what HAPA CARES does, and we created HAPA CARES during the MCO period, or rather after the MCO period, because we understand the importance of safety and hygiene standards that has to be kept, and not just in terms of looking at it, but also applying it and implementing it. So HAPA CARES go around looking for places that we can talk about in terms of knowing that they follow the guidelines. They put your safety first and the employee's safety as well on the top priority, so that everyone will feel safe coming back out to dine. So thank you so much, Ian, for spending time with us and sharing with us your plans for 𝐤𝐸𝐷𝐼𝐷�ONS.
Welcome.
Yes, thank you. All right, so we will see you again at our next HAPA CARES outlet. Look out for the next live interview that we have, and stay safe and have a great evening.